Well, obviously, you open with 4 turnovers. You can't beat anybody when you lose turnover margin 4-0, and we talk about it every Monday in our meetings, and we start out with how many teams won a game that was 1 over on turnover margin, 2 over in turnover margin, 3 over in turnover margin, and we were 4 minus in the turnover margin. That's twofold. We didn't force any on defense, really didn't cause any problems for them when it comes to that, and then obviously didn't take care of the ball offensively. Give South Carolina a lot of credit. I thought Will and his staff did a great job. They were able to control our run game, played really physical up front. They played a lot of guys. They outplayed us up front, and that played a big part in the game. When we did get momentum and we're moving the ball, we seemed to stub our toe each time, either with a turnover, a penalty, or something that kept us from doing it. But our kids are resilient. Our kids will continue to fight. We've got to look ourselves in the mirror as coaches, staff, and do a better job. We've got to help our kids out. And I just told everyone I'm in the locker room, they can't hang their head. They got to go get better, and we got to help them get better. And the leaders in that room will do that, and that's part of it. When you play in the SEC, guys, every week you've got to be at your best because every team is 100% capable of out-physicaling you and out-playing you. And today, they played better than we did, and we didn't do a good enough job as coaches to help them out. Credit goes to them.
Could you go over the scenarios at the end of regulation? Or did you consider sending Rod out there earlier?
No, not earlier. We had time. We had 13 seconds, I think it was, at one time, and we had a play call. We had to work the sideline, and we were going to work the sideline. We do it every week. We're going to work the sideline, try to get him 5 more yards, 6 more yards. Jake always does a good job of making those decisions to throw it away or get him out of bounds. We thought 38-yard line. It was a long, long field goal, but it was a shot to make it, and we felt like we get to take one more chance to get 5 or 6 yards, and then we're going to kick it. Not going to kick it with 13 seconds because, number one, we thought we could get some more yards back for him. But the penalty obviously killed us because not only did we get the penalty, but we lost the play. And so when you lose the play and you got the penalty, now you're forced with 3 seconds left to either kick a 60-yarder or try to throw a Hail Mary. So that was the decision.
Kirby, what would you say about Jake Fromm? I know he did have one of his best games, but a lot of people just on Twitter were just talking about his performance and just the QB situation here at University of Georgia. What do you just have to say to those people and just about Jake Fromm?
I don't have to say anything to those people. I'll be honest with you. They have a right to use whatever they want, to display what they want. And that's what Twitter's about. I believe in Jake Fromm. Jake Fromm's a leader of men. He gives tremendous effort week in and week out. He tried to throw the ball away and didn't get enough on it to get it out of bounds, and the kid picked it off. We fumbled a snap. It rarely happens with our guys. It happened today. I can't tell you exactly why it happened. One ball was dropped, and it ended up being intercepted off that. So it's tough. It was a tough day. We were not effective enough, efficient enough offensively, and they did enough with our run game where you still look at it statistically, 468 to 297, you outgain them, but it's the critical times in which the turnovers happened. You can't go 4-0 in the turnover margin and expect to win a game. It just doesn't happen.
What's your assessment of the line of scrimmage when y'all were on offense?
Felt like they won the line of scrimmage, and Swift had 113, Zamir had 47, and we had some rushing yards in there, but it wasn't the dominant performance. It wasn't the controlling the line of scrimmage that we like to have, and that gives South Carolina some credit. They played really physical. They rotated guys up front, did a better job against our run game than most people have, and probably than they did in the past.
Will has said that this is his best front seven. I mean, was that the result of this, or was it something that they did that y'all didn't see on film either?
Oh, no. We saw them on film. They got a good team. When you start talking about the players they got up front, they got 300-pounders. I said earlier in the week, these guys got good front guys. They're able to control the line of scrimmage and play the line of scrimmage. In our league, that's the way it is. Week in and week out, you're not going to go out there and just be able to push guys around. They played really physical and did a good job.
Coach, do you have an update on Brian Arian and not having him in the game plan? Did that affect the offensive game plan at all?
No, it really didn't. He had back spasms, and he had them yesterday, and we tried to treat him for it and tried to get him out there today. He tried to go. He went in warm-ups, but he couldn't get over them, and it was unfortunate that he wasn't able to play being a senior.
Rodrigo probably took that miss really tough. What do you tell him after this?
I lost that. What?
What do you tell Hot Rod after that miss? I know.
Oh, man, that guy's made so many critical field goals, tough. You got to go back to work. You know what I mean? We're going to show confidence in Hot Rod because he's a worker. We believe in him. He's meant so much to us. He's given us so much, and that's tough. I mean, their kicker missed one too. You know, it's tough. When you play that and you got that environment, you got to be able to make those field goals. Rod knows that, and we support him. We love him, and you know, some other games we wouldn't have won without him.
When Hillesky was hurt, Kirby, did your offensive rhythm when Jordan came in, a little more running threat?
It really didn't change much. You know, they gave him a few more sprint out and boot and naked actions to get him out of the pocket. But, you know, we had worked on him. We talked about him. He was their second string quarterback, so we knew that. And he's actually really talented. We knew him in high school, and he can throw the ball. He can spin the ball. He does a good job. I thought they did a good job, BMAC and those guys, keeping it where he could keep us off balance just enough with their run game and their play action game and the empty game to give him a chance to win the game. They did a nice job with him.
Kirby, I know you said that just kind of a tough day, but what are you most disappointed with right now? And I know it was an effort, but what would you say?
No, it was turnovers. I mean, without a doubt. Most disappointed that we turned the ball over 4 times and we got none. When you give the ball to the team 4 times, one of them a score. You know, when a team scores on defense, it's like 90% chance they're going to win. And we still almost overcame that. So you can't turn the ball over 4 times and win. There's a lot of things that we can clean up, okay? There's a lot of things that we can get better at as coaches, and we're going to do that. But we can't turn the ball over. And you turn the ball over 4 times, and not get any back. If we get 2 back, probably cancel some of that out.
JR said pretty emphatically, this will not linger. What is it about the makeup of this team and the leadership that makes you believe that?
Well, it's just that. J.R. Reed, DeAndre Swift, Jake, Andrew Thomas. I mean, these guys are phenomenal leaders, great kids. But we've got to do a good job of moving forward and understand we have to get better. We have to get better. We've got to be able to get the ball in space, be able to make some plays with some guys, be able to block people up front. You know, everybody wants to talk about our offensive line being a dominant offensive line. I love to talk about that, but they got to do it. We got to go out there and do it and occupy the line of scrimmage and win the line of scrimmage over and over. And in this league, it's tough to do that all the time because they got good players too. Those front players they got up there, they got good players.
You guys were rolling guys in and out on the offensive line. Was that because of injuries or just trying to find that right mix?
No, we had some guys dinged up. I mean, Solly was banged up. Ben was banged up. We had several guys in there banged up.
How concerning was it on some of those sacks that Jake took? It seemed like the receivers couldn't get separation from their guys.
Yeah, they did a great job. If you had to say one thing that they did well, they got their hands on our guys, and there was not a lot of vertical separation, you know. And then there's a couple of those that was frustrating. They played man-to-man. They pressed George. They pressed Tyler. They pressed Lawrence. They pressed Cager. And, you know, they got 2 good corners that are really long. We knew that all week. So, you know, the idea was to try to get them on the move. To get people off of you, you have to get in bunches and do some different things, and we did a lot of those things to get them off of us, but they did a nice job. A couple of those picks were because they were just all over us.
At halftime, what was the mood of the team and your message to them?
The mood of the team was good. They felt like we were going to win the game in the 4th quarter. You know, it's always a 4-quarter game in the SEC, very similar to last week when you start talking about, hey, we got to go out and play better, execute, adjust, and do things. They were in good spirits. My message was make it a 4-quarter game. Win the game in the 4th quarter with physicality and build on this program for what it is. And we didn't do that. We didn't dominate the 4th quarter.
So in terms of the offense, as you speak about line of scrimmage and other separation, you guys weren't able to get even that kind of affected things in terms of opening it up, getting more deep opportunities in a passing game.
And we called a lot of deep opportunities, but they're not there if they're getting pressed or at the line. You know what I mean? I mean, there were several deep balls thrown, but if you notice, there was no space. You know what I mean? They were on the sideline. They were out of bounds. They were getting wired, and you got to do a good job winning one-on-one. And when the pass pro's there and you give Jake time, he's very accurate. But we got to get guys that can win one-on-one as well.
Kirby, were you all concerned about the sameness that your offense going to get into?
The same.
I counted 9 times in regulation that you ran on 1st down and then ran again on 2nd. Is that putting Jake in a kind of an unfair position to just say, well, this out?
I don't think so. I think you try to play to your strengths And we've opened up some series with empty, with passes, and it's hard when you play behind the sticks on 2nd and 10 as well. It's really tough when you get first down and you know everybody can say, well, don't go run the ball. When you're getting 4 yards, we consider that a pretty successful play. And there were some times we ended up 2nd and 9, 2nd and 10, but there were more times we ended up 2nd and 6 and 2nd and 5. And you've already made it where it's 2nd down, you've got the option to do what you want, where the defense is on the defensive. But I certainly think that there were times we opened it up. We opened up some drives where we said, hey, we got to come out there and open it up, take a shot. And we did that a couple times, but you're not successful there. It's easy to come back and say, hey, well, why do you run it on first? Why do you run on second? Well, if you've got the strength of your team is your backs, and you feel like your backs can make guys miss, and the strength of your team is your offensive line, you try to rely on your strength. Once they negate that, and you're not able to move them up front, then you got to try other things. And I thought that we tried to do both those. We opened it up and threw it to George over the middle one time, took a shot coming out, trying to do those things offensively.
Kirby, I know Tyler had a nice play down the line of scrimmage there. What about getting to the quarterback for your team in the pass rush today?
Yeah, you know, I don't know. There's a couple times we got to him, he got loose. You know, we couldn't finish, especially on the second kid that came in. You know, the first kid, I knew all week, he's got an ability to get the ball out really quick. He's got a great release. He doesn't take sacks. I mean, he's not going to sit back there and just let you hit him. He's going to throw the ball away. He's going to get rid of it quick, and he did that early in the game. The other kid came in, and we got pressure several times, especially late when they were in empty, but he's a really athletic kid, and when you have kids like that, it's very similar to Notre Dame. You get pressure and affect him, but he's taking off running. And sometimes those 300-pounders, 200-pounders that are rushing him, you can't get him on the ground. And we had several chances to get them behind the sticks, and we couldn't do it because he just made it enough to make it manageable. You know, he didn't get the long yardage situation.
Coach, everything's kind of exaggerated nowadays. You get a loss and you're number 3 ranked team. Everybody gets run.
Sure.
What was the message? You obviously got more game to play, and you're in the heat of it right now.
Yeah, the message is we're a team. We stick together. When things get thick, we come together even better. It doesn't. The outcome of this game affects everybody outside of our building, inside of our building. We just get tighter and we go get better, and that's what we need. We need to grow and get better. We got to improve. So the outside world's going to say what they're going to say regardless anyway. We don't control that message. What we control is that our players believe in each other, and we got to help them get better as a coaching staff.
Kirby, pretty much universally talking with players that felt like they just got outplayed. You said that yourself. Any indication that was coming? Any kind of, sometimes you know, sometimes you don't, but any indication that was coming?
No, I thought we had a good week of practice. I thought we had good practice prep. I thought we might be a little bit, tired, but we went a little lighter on Thursday because of that. And they did. They played a really good football game. But at the end of the day, we gave them 4 gifts. And 4 gifts, I think maybe 3 of them on our side of the field, or 4 of them on our side of the field. You got to turn those into points.
How about Mark Webb's knee? Just catches up on injuries. Yeah. Cage, I think, came out with a shoulder. You mentioned Arian already, but Webb and
Webb's he bumped knees on the Linsky kid's knee brace. They went knee to knee on one of those pressures, and the knee brace got him, and he's injured. I don't know how serious it is. We'll check into it. So he was down, and then Cager's got the shoulder, couldn't go, which has been lingering for him. He's got the separated shoulder. He's been dealing with it for weeks, so it's hard to get healthy because he goes out there and plays. He doesn't bang on it during the week, but he goes out there and plays on it. He's just had a hard time getting healthy.
You mentioned Solomon.
Yeah, his ankle. He's not re-injured. It's been bothering him, and he was trying to push through. Schaefer got injured as well in the game.
You said last year in Baton Rouge that all your goals are still attainable. I assume the same holds true.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been a part of a lot of good football teams that have lost a game, and for us, it's really not about this game anymore. We're going to have to look at the tape and get better. It's about the next game, because in the SEC, they're all like this. I know that people find it hard to believe that Georgia, the number 3 ranked team in the country, just played a tight ball game or lost to South Carolina. But when you look at it, Kentucky has a good football team too. And everybody we play has good football players. You have got to go out and execute and be able to play at a high level week to week in this conference. And we've got to do that. We've got to help them do it as coaching staff.
You see teams week in and week out lose in a big manner, get dominated, but to lose in the way you did, is it more frustrating knowing the mistakes that you guys had and the turnovers?
I wouldn't say it's just frustrating to lose. I'm disappointed in the way we performed.
Kirby, in overtime, they had a series where they looked a little bit confused on offense, and the play clock was running down, and you called timeout. What were you seeing on your end? Why'd you call timeout there?
Which time are you talking about? No, they came up out of a speed break huddle on 4th and 1. And so what we wanted to do was see what it was. Their play to win the game was to see it and be able to go over and adjust to it. There was not really major confusion. They were trying to get lined up, but we wanted to see what that was. And I also felt like they were going to hard count, and they were going to try to get us to draw us off sides. And I felt like there was value in him being able to go over that play, because for that play, that down, that could have been the game. If you stop them there on 4th down, we got to come out and kick a field goal to win the game. So that was the thought process there.
This is the second week in a row the secondary's given up a long touchdown. How much of a concern is that going forward, especially as other teams kind of think that might be somewhere the next week?
We're going to get shots all the time. I mean, people are going to take shots on you. That's part of the game. It's part of the SEC, and they've got good playmakers to do that with. So there'll always be teams taking shots.
How close is Campbell? Do you know how close Campbell is from coming back,
Tyson Campbell? I don't know yet. I mean, he was out there warming up today, and he's gotten better. He's been able to run around in practice. He's just not 100%. It's a very delicate injury, and it's tough to get over. And we're trying to be patient because you don't want to come back early from that injury, and turf toe's a tough one.
Kirby really hit the ball well today.
He did. He punted the ball well. Thanks, guys.